You know that feeling, right? You're working on your laptop, you switch over to your phone, and your latest changes just aren't there. That frustrating moment where you're just hitting the sync button, waiting for the cloud to do its thing. But what if? What if we could build a world of computing that gets rid of that problem entirely? Okay, let's dive into a really radical new idea for how all our devices could work together just perfectly. Just picture this for a second. You're typing away on your computer, you get up, you grab your tablet, and you just continue. Your work is instantly there, exactly how you left it. I don't mean a version from a few seconds ago. I mean the actual live state of your work, seamlessly available on any device you happen to pick up. In this world, all that friction we've just gotten used to, it completely vanishes. There's no logging into an account to pull your data down from some server, there's no sync button to mash over and over, and no waiting for uploads to finish. You just open a device, and you're there. This isn't just about building a better app. It's a totally different way of thinking about how software should even work. So that seamless experience, that's really just the signpost pointing to a much, much bigger idea. What you could call a post-server computing model. It's a fundamental reimagining of the digital ground we're all walking on. So what does that actually mean? Well, first off, we get rid of the whole idea of static files. Instead, we have a world built on replayable stories of what happened. Second, we've replaced those big central servers with just a network of equal participants. And finally, and this is key, we stop trying to sync our devices and instead design them to naturally converge on the exact same result. It's a huge shift in thinking. Now, to build a system like this, you can't just bolt on new features. You need something powerful, something unbreakable at its core. You need a single, first principle, a law that governs every single interaction and guarantees this seamless world can actually exist. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. I mean, without a central server acting as the one source of truth, how on earth can all of your devices possibly know the exact same thing at the exact same time? How do you make sure they don't just drift apart into total chaos? This is the answer. It's the sovereign law of this entire system. What it's saying is that the only thing that truly matters, the only real source of truth, is the ability to replay a sequence of events and get the exact same result every single time. Everything else we see on our screens, that's just a temporary view, what the system calls a witness or a projection. It's kind of like a shadow. It's a representation of the real thing, but it isn't the real thing itself. The replay is the only truth. Okay, let's break down that complex phrase with a really simple analogy. Think of it like a recipe. If you and I start with the exact same ingredients and we follow the exact same steps in the exact same order, we are guaranteed to bake the exact same cake. We don't need to call some central master chef to check our work. This system just works the same way, but with bits and bytes of data. So this sovereign law we talked about, it's not just a friendly suggestion. It's the absolute bedrock of a strict constitution. Every single piece of software, what the source material calls an agent, has to obey this rigid set of rules, no exceptions. And this right here, this shows you the hierarchy of that constitution, the chain of command. At the very top, you have the replayable behavior, what the code actually does. Everything else is secondary to that. But look what's dead last. Human explanation. In this system, if there's a conflict between a comment someone wrote in the code and what the replay actually produces, the replay wins. Every single time. The truth is in the execution, not the explanation. This slide just gets right to the heart of the system's whole philosophy. An agent, a program, must optimize for things like determinism and creating identical, bit-for-bit perfect results. And it absolutely must not optimize for things we usually prioritize, like prettier narratives or easier metaphors. This is a system that chooses a verifiable mathematical truth over a convenient story every single time. Okay, let's move to this table and see how it all stacks up. This shows the different layers of the system, and I want you to look at that authority column. The only layer with canonical or ultimate authority is the runtime event stream, the replay itself. Everything else, all the way down to the projection, which is literally what you see on your screen, is just derived from that one source. And that's why projections have zero authority. The screen is just a reflection of the truth. It can never, ever override the replay. So, after all that technical detail, why go through all this trouble? What does this actually unlock for us? Well, it unlocks a world of computing that just
works. Imagine a live reality session. You and your team all join a shared computation from your phones, tablets, laptops, whatever. There's no host, no central server, no laggy stream. You are all, literally, in the same evolving digital space at the same time.
And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. In that live reality session, your devices aren't constantly syncing with some server in the cloud. Instead, they converge on the same truth because they are all replaying the exact same story of events. Because every device has the same recipe and follows it perfectly, they are mathematically guaranteed to end up in the exact same state. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought to chew on. We live in a digital world where software often hides what it's really doing behind convenient abstractions and, well, pretty narratives. So what could we build? What new kinds of collaboration? What new levels of trust could we actually achieve if the software we all depended on was constitutionally required to tell the verifiable, replayable truth?